Let's take a look at how ElasticPath supports catalog management within the Commerce Manager. When we visit Merchandise, we can see all of the product experience management functionality provided by ElasticPath. Here within all products, I can see all of my products. They're easily accessible through various search parameters, and I can add filters from any of the product properties to find the exact set of items I'm looking for. If I take a look at an individual product, I can see that everything we want to manage about a product is right here at my fingertips. All of the top level product information, including what type of product it is, whether it's physical or digital, its URL, SKU identifier, its status, and then that leads us on to placing this product within the various hierarchies, which we'll take a look at in a minute. And so in this case, I can see that this item is right within the hand tools area. And if I want to associate it with another category, it's as simple as checking a box to get that confirmation. When we move on to product templates, we can see that our products have any number of attributes. So I can define each of these elements and a type for each of them. I can insert things like specifications. These will be modeled out around whatever product types of attributes you need. When I get to pricing, ElasticPath offers a very comprehensive set of pricing controls. We have pricing by currency here. So I've enabled 2 currencies in this storefront. I provide for each of my price books a price, and I can select from any of the available price books to set here. I can see here with an advanced pricing all my volume discounts, so by 100 or more at one price, by 200 or more at this price. I can see that there's actual sale prices going on, so a trade price discount and another trade price discount for these various price books. And then finally, I can see that this particular item is part of a product bundle, and so within the context of that bundle, it gets a special price. We'll cover more of this in the promotional section, but again, it is a unique differentiator for ElasticPath. This product does not have variations, but if you have color or size, you would set those up in the variations here, and I'd be able to see, in this case, size examples, and I can define each of my options. Rounding out the comprehensive set of items here, I can see inventory for particular items, which I haven't defined. We'll cover that more in the multi-location inventory. And then finally, all the imagery or related PDFs or other documents can be attached to this product. Attributes are organized around templates. So I can see here I have a number of different templates that might contain any number of attributes, all configurable and definable by business users. So I can create my own attributes in here and then associate them with those templates, which then get associated to the products. I mentioned the variations. We have custom relationships between products, things for cross-sells, replacement items, frequently bought together, and then finally a view into the media catalog. I'll skip bundles to cover that in the promotional section, but we do have things like hierarchies, which will allow us to set up top-level groupings of products and the subcategories for each one of them. So I can see each of these has different sub-level categories here. When I get to price books, I can define any number of price books that can be account-specific or segment-specific, region-specific, and I will drive shoppers to the appropriate price book using catalogs and catalog rules. At this point, it is important to understand that the power of the ElasticPath merchandising system comes from the decoupling and separation of the product model, the price book model, and the hierarchies. Combining each of those independent concepts into a catalog allows us to cater to a wide variety of users without having to manage a multitude of separate catalogs for every price book permutation, for every product variation that we want to serve up. This gives us dramatic flexibility and then powers use cases that can span B2B, B2C, and B2B2C. Catalogs are the shopper context, the way that a visitor to the site will be presented items. So in this case, in a default catalog, we'll present these 3 top-level hierarchies. We can then insert any number of price books that they're eligible for. But if I start to look at this from the context of B2B, I can have account-specific catalogs. So in this case, this particular account gets access to these 3 top-level hierarchies. They get access to their own contracted prices. And if there's not a price there, they'll get access to their silver tier. And if there's not a price there, they'll just draw from the default list price. All this is managed through those catalog rules that allow us to map a particular shopper's context, either the channel they're visiting from, some type of attribute on their account, some type of tag that's associated with that session, and that can then drive us to promote certain price books, map them to a particular catalog, and schedule those catalogs. So for my default catalog running right now, I don't have any date specific, but I can add schedules for unique catalogs to appear just during certain start and end date and time. And then finally, I will do the mapping to particular accounts and to customers. Closing out this section for inventories, we can define locations for each of our inventories, so distribution centers, the individual store locations, and then we'll define in product inventory what the actual specific items are there. These can all be populated through data feeds and then managed through our Composer iPass. But here we can get that visibility from a business user perspective to see all the inventory and adjust each of the inventories if needed, if they need to make a correction.